right, it's Pro Appreciation Month. My name is Rich, I'm with Mapei. We're here to show you some tips and tricks for a faster tile installation. I'm joined today with Dave Moore and Gerald Sloan. They're two of our technical reps, and they're gonna help demonstrate some of these products and show you some really cool tips and tricks. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, but before we do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna be talking about several products today. We're really gonna be sticking with some tips and tricks with mortar installation, as well as grouting. But it's very important that we do not forget our surface preparation products. So that is a very important part of the install, and it really does help speed up the process when you're installing and working with tile. So let's definitely not forget those. So we have our self-levelers, our patching, our primers, all sorts of different products, our crack isolations that really help with that methodology. But today we're focusing on mortars. And the one mortar that we're gonna talk about today that's really important is our Caraflex Super. This is an absolutely phenomenal mortar. Why is it so great? Well, one, it has the name Super, right? Can't beat that. Also, it's because it has an extremely high transfer rate. Why is that important? Well, that helps you eliminate back buttering, and it also helps create an extreme bond to the back of the tile and to the floor or to the wall or the surface that you're adhering the tile to. So that's a great property of it. Another really cool thing about it is that it comes in a 44-pound bag, but it has the ability to do more square footage than your average 50-pound bag mortar. So we're gonna talk about that product first. And first we're gonna show you kind of how to mix it and some cool tips and tricks for saving time while mixing the product. So let's get started.
All right, first thing.
Go ahead.
First thing we have is a little tip to always get the proper amount of water, which is very important. So Gerald pre-cut our bucket. We're gonna pour our water in here first. And once we get to the correct amount, it's automatically gonna get rid of any excess water. So every single time you have the correct amount of water to recreate the results.
That's cool. It's almost like you can make a fountain on the job site. So, but it's a really neat trick. So as Gerald, whenever you're mixing mortar, it's really important to put the water in the bucket first. That's very important, but also what's important is you want to really help control the dust, and you want to help keep the area clean. So we have a couple of very cool methods that will show you. One is you'll notice that this bucket over here is a little bit higher. There's a sleeve on there. The reason why we created a sleeve, we just cut the bucket a little bit and cut it off so we can put it on there, and that just helps control mess. It's not necessary, it doesn't need to be done, but you can do that. We've also attached a really cool tool. You'll notice that the vacuum is connected to it, and we have this really cool gold blot whale tail, as we call it. This is gonna help control dust. Why is that important? Well, on a job site, anytime you have to clean up an extra mess, it's gonna acquire more time for you. So with this, you're gonna see, as he demonstrates, it's gonna help suck up the dust and control the mess, and also make it a safer environment. So. Yeah, and as you can see, it's sucking the dust up, which is a really excellent, this is an excellent tool to have in your tool bag. Every job site has a shop vac, so this is a simple one.
So once Gerald has the powder mixed with the water sufficiently, you can turn off the vacuum and continue to mix for the required time. And once he's got that properly mixed, he can go ahead and stop and pull the drill out of the bucket.
All right, so those are some great tips with mixing mortar, and especially with the water. That was very neat. One thing we want to go into next is our UM35. That's our Mapei UM35. It's a very fantastic product, but I wanted to show you a quick example. So Gerald's going to grab me some backer board, and this could be a cement board, a hardy backer board, a Duroc, a foam board, all different types of boards. So you see these products, especially cement board, these are right here, 4 boards. That can be a lot of weight. And it also takes up quite a bit of space, you know, if you spread all these out. And that could be a lot of work and a lot of effort, but a great way to save time is to use this product right here, the UM35. You see it's extremely lightweight, it's extremely easy to work with, and this has 54 square foot in this roll right here. We have larger rolls as well, but this one is stocked in the store and it's ready to go. And this is our uncoupling membrane. So this is a crack isolation and a waterproof membrane, as well as an uncoupling membrane, and it is an excellent product for installing tile. And it also is very easy to install and work with, so it's a great way to save time. So we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate that right now.
All right. Now that we're done mixing, I can get my mortar over here. I got this one. We're going to install our uncoupling membrane on our substrate. One of the biggest things is the correct trowel. So we're using a 3/4 inch, or I'm sorry, a 1/4 by 1/4 inch notch trowel. You want to get some material on the board, on your substrate, and the first thing you want to do is called keying in your substrate. This is going to give you a much better bond opposed to just troweling it on the substrate. And one of the great things about this mortar is this is good inside, outside. This is one of our go-to mortars that is very versatile, and you can use in many different applications.
Yeah, for those of you that have worked with several different types of mortars, if you ever get your hands on this mortar, it is an extremely creamy, smooth, and easy to work with product. So it's less effort to install it. It has an extreme bond to it. It's truly a phenomenal product, and it can be used in interior applications, exterior applications, freeze-thaw type of climates, floors, walls, ceilings. It's truly an excellent mortar, very versatile.
So once you've got that keyed in, you want to get your material on the substrate and do what we call combing the material out. And it's definitely important the right trowel because you want to have it flat to your substrate and not create waviness and unevenness in your mortar bed. Get a little more on there.
I'm curious too, when you're installing backer board, you have to fasten the backer board, and there's several different, screws and placements on the backer board where you have to put these in. With UM35, you just have to roll it out and then press it down with a roller. Do you guys see that as a great way to save time?
I do, yes.
There's a huge benefit for speed and quality on a job. So once I get this combed out, I want to take my UM35, and if you'll help me, Gerald, place that on our substrate. And one of the keys to this, you can't just tap it into place. You need to embed it into the substrate by using this roller. Pull this back a little. And when I do this, you're going to see I have coverage here. Where I didn't roll it, I don't have any coverage. So it's a very important step to adequately roll this to bond it.
So you start out with a 1/4 by 1/4 trowel, and it ends up being about 1/8 of an inch, right? And
Correct.
Increase in height.
Yes. So we call that the embedded thickness. Basically, whatever the thickness of your notch, half of that is going to be your embedded thickness. And it's as easy as that.
Would you like to demonstrate just shortly how it works with putting the mortar just on top of, just a little bit in a little area, please?
So again, we want to get our material on there and then key it into the surface to get an adequate bond. And then we come back with our material and we're just combing that out to get our appropriate coverage and thickness.
And those pockets grab the mortar and create an extreme, excellent bond.
You know, another great feature is our SM tape that will make this a waterproof feature as well.
This one right here. So this adds to the waterproofing ability when you use it as a seam tape. Very easy to install, very easy to work with. Nice little package here. Very lightweight, you know? Great, this is great. I mean, I've worked with backer board for years, and if this was around back when I worked with it, I would have loved it, so.
That would have saved tons of time.
Yeah, tons of time. So for demonstration purposes, we're going to, we would typically just install on top of the UM35, but we're gonna go ahead and bring another board out. And what we're gonna show you right now is just a few things with coverage of the Caraflex Super and those types of Caraflex products, again, with its ability to have this extreme grab, and you can eliminate back buttering. That's absolutely amazing, but we're gonna show you some really cool things about coverage with tile. And when you get good coverage with tile, you're gonna save time in a lot of ways as well. So we're gonna, go ahead.
This is another circumstance where if you're using a 12 by 24, or if you're gonna use a Mosaic, the trowel you use matters. So the most commonly used is going to be a 3/8 by 1/4. And this is the same method as before. We're keying in our substrate, and I'll show you exactly why coverage matters. So then we want to come back, and it doesn't really matter at this point how this mortar goes on the board. We just want to get it onto our substrate, and once you do that, you want to come back and trowel your ridges. And you always want to have a little on your trowel. So once you do that, if you have your tile, and I'll show you on a piece of plexiglass, if you're putting this in here, I need to move it the distance of the trowels. So if you see, I have really good coverage over here where I didn't do the directional troweling. I've got all these air pockets.
So you shouldn't do like a curved pattern on mortar, is what you're saying?
Absolutely not. That will lead
Yeah.
to breaking of tiles and improper coverage, which can lead to a failure.
Notice too the way that that is an oblong, it is a plexiglass for demonstration, but it's oblong. Notice the way he laid it down too. He laid it down opposite of the rows of mortar. And the reason why he did that is that's a easier way for the air to escape when you're collapsing those ridges. And again, with the extreme bond of Caraflex Super, that is gonna grip to the back of the towel or grip to the back of the surface and create an extreme bond. Again, you can eliminate back buttering in tile installation, which is always recommended because you want great coverage on your tile. But with this product, it's not necessary.
Yeah, so I'm moving air out the shortest distance instead of the longest. Another great trick is everyone wants to install Mosaic tiles with a little tiny trowel. So this is an amazing trick. If you put a little bit on here and you want to flatten your ridges, I'm just flattening them out. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. And then I'm taking that Mosaic and I'm setting it on here. I don't want to use my hand because it's not a flat product. I want to take something like your grout float and I want to push it out so you can see this mortar coming out the edges. I don't have any mortar coming up through my tile, but when I pull this up, except for where I had the sticker, had phenomenal coverage. That's amazing coverage without getting all the mortar through your joints. Gerald is mixing up our next product for us.
So what we should do though is we should pop up this plexiglass tile and then redo our mortar lines. And we should show well, you can see it on the back of that tile, the excellent coverage that it has and the high transfer rate of Caraflex Super, but let's show that on an actual tile. I think that would be a great thing to show. So again, typically in a larger tile, you're going to want a back butter. It's a very important part. When you get into those larger tiles, more coverage is necessary. It's required.
So again, we want to move this the same thickness as our trowel lines. I didn't move it a whole lot. I didn't do a ton to it. It's hard to even pull up off of that board.
That's excellent coverage.
And that's what you want to see to prevent air pockets that will cause damage and failures on your job.
All right, so that's Caraflex Super. It's an absolutely phenomenal product. It works well. It gives a lot of confidence. It can help you save a lot of time as well. What we're going to demonstrate next is our Diesel X P10 or a Mosaic glass and tile mortar. We'll just show you a couple tips and tricks to help with to help with the installation of the product. Again, it's great for glass mosaics, mosaic tile, all sorts of tile. So they're just going to get set up real quick, and we'll get right into it. So I'll tell you, Dave, it is really amazing what that Caraflex Super can do.
It's a phenomenal product. I wish when I was installing that existed.
It's literally at a state where you could almost say any tile anywhere. There are some minor limitations, but for the most part, for most installs, it can do pretty much any tile anywhere. It's a phenomenal product.
Okay, a Diesel X P10, and grab the notch trowel, and Dave's bringing the notch trowel and the glass. Yes, sir.
Do you want the 1/8 or do you want the 1/4?
I want the 1/4. So
while they're getting set up, I'll talk a little bit about the next product, and that's our Diesel X P10, the Mosaic glass and tile mortar. This is an excellent mortar for mosaics and glass tiles. One of the key features of it is it has a very fine aggregate. So you can go very thin on your mortar lines, and you can do a myriad of tiles from mosaics to glass to a large glass tile, as well as the other feature of this product is it's extremely bright white. And why is that important? A lot of your glass tiles and your mosaics now, they have a decorative backing. But that bright white still makes the tile pop. So we're going to demonstrate the product and show you a couple of tips and tricks to make the job a lot easier, especially when you're dealing with mosaic tile. It has very fine grout lines, like 1/8 of an inch usually on a mosaic. And if you were to press that tile into the mortar, it can push mortar up. And that will then create more work for you to have to clean all that out to grout. So we're going to show you a method that can help eliminate that.
And Gerald has done, continuing with the same method, he burned it in, keyed it into a substrate, now he's combing out his lines. Once he gets that where it needs to be, he's going to show you this really cool method.
okay. So now I'm gonna leave a little on my trowel to back.
And he's just going to smooth these lines out. It just takes a second, not too long. And it's going to be a nice flat surface.
And if you have a line, you can go back over it. But notice I'm keeping my trowel low. There we go. And even for large tiles, this will hold a tile, a large, heavy glass tile. Does not move.
And he's pushing it on there to make sure he's got the correct coverage to get adequate bond to his substrate. You can also do this with the mosaics.
And again, with that flat surface, when you press this in, there's no variation in the mortar. So it's not, you help run the risk of pushing mortar up through those grout lines and creating more work for you in the cleanup process and allowing you more time to grout, which in turn saves time. It's a great tip. And you're going to get excellent coverage on the back of this mosaic.
I'll take them off and show you.
Well,
but if
real
you get a
quick.
really close view of that, there's virtually no thin setting material in those joints. So that makes your time saving for prior to grouting. There's not scraping necessary to remove that.
Another great trick, rather than use a razor knife on materials that can be damaged and chipped, these nylon brushes are phenomenal for just scrubbing out and cleaning your grout joints.
Yeah.
I've never thought to use the nylon brush. That is a great tip.
Yeah. So there you go. Shows your coverage.
Excellent.
Here. Get that out of your way. So that's one of my favorite products. It works phenomenally well in a lot of different applications. He's going to pull off these glass ones. And glass is something that is becoming very popular. It needs to be done the right way because it's a little bit tricky, and these are great tips to have a better installation with happier customers.
The coverage looks great, guys. While they're getting set up for the next install, we're going to talk about grout, and we're going to talk about some tips and tricks to save time in grouting. So I have in my hand two products here, our Ultra Color Plus FA, which is a fine aggregate grout, and our Flex Color CQ, which is an acrylic-based grout that's ready to use. So this is a powdered grout that needs to be mixed. This is a ready-to-use grout that doesn't need to be mixed and can be used immediately right out of the bucket. So we're going to show some really cool tips and tricks for both products. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison where Gerald is going to do the Ultra Color Plus FA and Dave is going to do the Flex Color CQ. And you're going to see in real time what kind of time savings you can have using this particular product, but also some time-saving tips with this product as well. So let's get started. So I'm going to hand off the Flex Color CQ to Dave. I'm going to give the Ultra Color Plus FA to my guy here, Gerald, and they're going to get started.
So as Dave starts with the Flex Color CQ, I got to mix this. When I mix it, I need to use the correct amount of water, and a real quick trick and tip for getting the correct amount of water is 2 bottles, 16-ounce water bottles, which gives us 32 ounces.
Is that 16 or 16.9, just to clarify?
16.9, which
16.9.
the water ratio on the bag tells us we can go from 1 quart to 1 quart and 2 ounces per 10 pounds. So we are right in the middle of that with 2 16.9-ounce water bottles. So that's what I'll start with.
So Gerald, you're telling me you can dump these 2 bottles of water in a bucket as long as they're 16.9 and they're at a good temperature, and
Yes,
then you could dump the grout in and mix it, and you don't have to worry about measuring or anything?
No, this is
And
your
you're going to
measurement.
get consistency every time with
Every
that, huh?
time.
That is a great tip.
That is.
That's a really great tip.
One of the great tips with that also, if you're working in a warm climate, if you put those in a fridge or get them very cold, that'll extend your working time 15 to 20 minutes. So while he's doing that, I can jump right into my pre-mixed product. So one of the most important products in here is this piece of plastic. Do not throw this away. Once you've used the amount you want to use, you put this back on there. This now has a year's shelf life where it's a good product. You can use it and it's the exact same color as when you first opened it.
Well, this is great too because Gerald has already got a head start on Dave. So you're going to pre-wash those tiles, right, with the sponge?
Absolutely. I just
Okay.
want to make sure I give this a little mix.
You got it. So basically, Gerald's getting a step up, but you notice Dave's taking his sweet time here, which is kind of cool. So what Dave's doing right now is he's pre-washing the tile. This is really important, one, because it's going to allow the installation to go smoother and faster. It's not soaking wet. It's not dripping. It's just a nice little quick wash of the tile. It's going to really help that Flex Color CQ and the Ultra Color Plus FA going very nice. So Dave's he's already, look at this. So Gerald is still mixing grout. And Dave is already laying his grout out right now.
And this is a very important tool. When you're installing your grout, you want to be at a low angle, and you can see these grout joints are filling to where they can't take any more. And after that, you want to come back at a steeper angle and smooth it out.
This grout does require about a 3 to 4 minute mix time.
Now this is a very specific product, so one of the biggest things with this product is you only want to mix and spread what you can use in about a 15 to 20 minute time period. Because this grout does go off a little bit faster and you don't want it to get away from you.
Yeah, so what Dave is trying to explain is typically when you're doing grout installations, you would do the entire area and then you would have to wait for a little bit for that grout to start to flash, and then you can come back and do your first clean. With Flex Color CQ, you clean as you go. So you want to work in an area that you can clean, and typically you want to work your way out of, like if you're working, say, in a bathroom or in an enclosed kitchen with like a door or an outlet, you want to start in one corner and work your way out, but you clean as you go, and that's a great way, a great time saver. You don't need to go back and clean the grout like you'll see Gerald do. So
I'm already finished spreading, and Gerald's just getting to the point he's ready to start spreading. One of the great things with this product, it's not afraid of water. This is not going to hurt the product. It's not going to wash out the color because the grout is the color.
And that's what our CQ stands for in the product. It's colored quartz. So the color is locked in. You cannot wash the color out of this product. So you get a tremendous amount of consistency every time. That bottled water trick that Gerald shows is a great way to show consistency with Ultra Color Plus FA, but you still have to add water to it, and you have to be consistent with it to get color consistency. With Flex Color CQ, because it comes ready to use and the colored quartz is locked in, you do not have to worry at all about changing the color of that product. It stays the same. You can come back the next day and grout, and it'll be an absolute no problem. So
I'm already done with my first wash. Now what we need to do is come back at a diagonal with very little pressure and do a clean wash.
And notice too how clean the tile is with Flex Color CQ. This is a normal way to install grout that Gerald is doing with Ultra Color Plus FA. And again, one thing I want to really draw attention to is Ultra Color Plus FA is an absolutely phenomenal product, and it works extremely well, and it is very versatile. It can be used in all sorts of environments. Flex Color CQ, it cannot be, it's not a submersible product. It can't be really used in pools or fountains, where Ultra Color Plus FA can be used in that type of environment. So it's still a great product. Even though it takes a little bit more time, I definitely don't want to think that showing Flex Color, you know, it's the only product to use. It's not, but it is an absolutely phenomenal product. It's a time saver. It's a great way to get in and out of a job, and it has a tremendous amount of versatility as well.
Another great trick with the CQ is if you wet a microfiber and just slowly pull it out, and you only got two sides to whatever you're using to wash, it comes out really clean. You're not putting pressure on your grout joints and washing them out. And I'm kind of playing around here a little bit, but I'm pretty much done. And Gerald's got a test to see if his is even ready to wash.
It's not. If it transfers to your finger and it's soft to the touch, it's not ready. It needs to.
Dave, did you happen to demonstrate?
To firm.
Oh, sorry there, Joe. Did you happen to demonstrate the microfiber sponge as well, or?
Gerald's going to handle the microfiber
Okay.
sponge.
Got it.
The other really cool feature with this grout, if I have a very small pinhole, this is an acrylic product. Acrylic loves acrylic. I just take a little tiny piece and it'll stick to it, and I can wash it right off, and it fills that void. Where this one, you need to go 2/3 the depth of the grout joint to fix a void.
If it's already cured, at a point like this, I can point it up fairly easy. But if it's already cured, say the next day, and I need to repair something, and you need to cut out 2/3 of the thickness of the tile to repair that.
So Dave, something I'd like you to demonstrate if you could is if you could use that microfiber sponge real quick on your flex color, or you could use that as well.
Oops, sorry.
But just go ahead and demonstrate with the micro, because right now Dave's done, but there's a tiny, tiny little bit of residual, and what's great about these microfiber sponges is they really do a good job of picking everything up and getting that tile ready. You can already see that it's a lot cleaner from that. So
See a defined
So let's
line.
just go ahead and just, do a quick tighten up on that, and you can see like he's done. So, and where Gerald's at right now, Gerald, did you talk?
I'm ready. I'm ready
Okay.
to start. I'm waiting until it doesn't transfer to my finger.
Okay.
So it's ready.
So Gerald has to wash the grout. This is his first wash. Typically you would go back and wash again, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So again, Dave is already on to a different job on the job site, or he's grouting another room. And we're at the process here of
Just getting started. on
exactly washing the
finishing.
Ultracolor Plus FA and doing a first wash with it. So both of these products are phenomenal. And what's great about Floor and Decor is they stock all 40 colors in stock at every single store, which is absolutely amazing. So when you're looking to do a job, you have all of those colors available on hand, and you don't have to special order them.
Well, and also, Rich, with our FA product, we get 2 additional colors, the Max, which is the whitest white, and the blackest black, available on the market.
Ultracolor Plus, which is stocked at Floor and Decor as well, which is absolutely great. So Ultracolor Plus FA, because it has a fine aggregate, one way that it is a time saver as well is with your traditional grouts, you have a sanded grout and you have an unsanded grout. You have to choose what grout you need for what type of tile or what type of particular grout lines, thicknesses that you're working with. With Ultracolor Plus FA, it takes that guesswork out. It is a very fine aggregate, which means it's not going to disrupt or destroy like a porcelain tile, or like a glazed porcelain tile or a glass tile. So it's one grout for pretty much every single job. And what's also excellent about it too is because of that fine aggregate, it helps protect your tile. So in most applications, sealing is not necessarily required, and you're gonna be able to clean a mess up very quickly with the product, but you can seal with the product, and we always recommend sealing. It is a great aspect for protection, but it's not necessary. So that's what's really cool about Ultracolor Plus FA, but what's even cooler about FlexColor CQ is there's no sealing required at all with the product. Again, it's acrylic based, the color quartz is locked in, it's absolutely phenomenal, and it's a great time saver. So Gerald is just finishing up here his first wash. It's still looking really good. You guys did a good job, but
So I use this section with this sponge, your microfiber on that section.
okay, excellent. Did you want to demonstrate it again real quick, just with,
Sure. So working with this one, this is a workhorse. I'm not saying it's bad, but you do have to work a little harder to remove the film. So all I was doing is just pulling it slow, and you can see it still leaves a little residue. So let me show you with this one.
And a good tip with that, when there's residue, you cannot just keep washing and washing and washing, because if anyone's ever seen grout have little white spots, you're exposing the cement.
Way better.
So at some point you have to wait, and then this will clean off with a dry rag.
and again, I mean, most of you that install know it's definitely not, you don't want to use too much water in the cleanup. You don't want it dripping wet and water all over the tile. So
No puddles on your joints.
no puddles in your joint. And he's also going at a 45-degree angle. That's so the sponge doesn't get caught up.
Right.
And you'll notice he's switching his sponge.
Yeah.
There's only 2 clean sides of a sponge. So you use your 2 sides, you rinse it out, and then you use the 2 sides again.
Okay, so this is at the point where this needs to go ahead and dry up, and then we'll come back with a final clean.
Excellent.
That'll buff off.
All right. Well, so for time-saving methods, what we'll do is we'll pull these boards off, and we'll go ahead and, or why don't you leave your board there?
Okay.
Because it's going to set up for a while. And then what we'll do is we'll pull in our next board, and we'll talk about our next product. And that's our grout release. So this product is a great time saver, and you would typically put this down when you're using like an Ultra Color Plus FA, and you're going to put it down before you start grouting. All right? And it's going to be a protective layer that's going to go over the tile that's going to really aid in your grouting process and save time. So again, Ultra Color Plus FA is a phenomenal product. It can be used in multiple scenarios. It's really the workhorse of our product line. And on this particular display here, we have one side that has our grout release, and the other side doesn't have grout release. So he's going to grout the board. And you'll notice too how easy it cleans up on the grout release side.
This is the grout release side right there. Okay.
Get my nice clean
Okay.
grout float.
And here again, laying the grout float down to about a 10 to 15 degree angle to create that pressure wave. So when I press it into the joints, it pushes all the air out, and you'll see that joint rise up. So you know all the air is gone. Once we pressed it in, packed the joints, then we'll begin to remove the excess.
And I don't ever want to give anyone the impression this is not a phenomenal grout. We feel strongly about our product. We start it good and then go better best. So our lower end products are still phenomenal products.
Well, I'll tell you, what's really neat is there are always situations where you could be in a bind when you're doing an install. It definitely happens. And you need to get in and out quickly, or you need to do a job fast. That's where, you know, FlexColor CQ can be used on any basis really, but if you are in that situation, consider using FlexColor CQ. It's a great time saver.
Okay, so there again, we need to let this set just to tighten up a little bit, and then we'll begin to dress the joints.
Excellent, excellent. So
the use for the grout release is most often used with heavily pigmented grouts and also with absorptive tiles. So some of the tiles that we work with is very absorptive, so you need to prepare the surface. Never grout dry tile. Always dampen the tile first before you grout any tile.
Just for time purposes, do you think cleaning the tile now you could still see
I
the
think
difference?
I can do it.
Be sure to ask questions and leave comments in the chat as well. We have people standing by to answer questions and also to take a look at comments as well. So please be sure to do that.
One of the best areas, it's not used everywhere, but it's getting more and more popular, is cement tiles. It's super absorptive, so this grout release works really well on that type of installation. You can even see in his residue that side's already cleaner.
Much cleaner.
It really cleans up on that side too.
Yeah.
Actually, when it came over to the other side where it was cut off, you start to see it drag a little bit. So.
Yeah. It creates what's called a sacrificial layer. So you're removing that, but it also makes it much easier to clean and is much easier on you. You can see right here, there's
this
residue.
This side is completely clean, and the other side. So again, a great time saver.
And this, like we mentioned, it's still a little wet, so this is a phenomenal way to show how good this product is.
And there we go.
It still cleans well. It still gives you a great finished product. This is just a tip to make it much easier on you.
Excellent. Okay, great. Well, why don't you guys come back around, because this concludes our webinar today from Mapei. We really appreciate your time today. We're looking forward to your comments and to your questions, and we'd love to answer it. I just want to give a thanks here to Dave and to Gerald as well. And, you know, we appreciate your business and looking forward to doing this again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.